Roger. Victory is ours.
We have Fonseca 737. You have our first winner. We have David Co 447 as our second winner. We have PSC 0905 as our third winner, and we have the Helpful Fox Senko-san as our fourth winner. And last, but certainly not least, we have Sea Soil 75. Congratulations to our winners. Make sure that your Twitch whispers are open. I swear, I won't do anything, but it's unfortunate for you. Please message our moderators so that you can get your camouflages. And thank you guys for getting us to that 2.75 million channel points to get this raffle up and going. I'm so proud of you guys, if no one else is. In any case, looking at the match thus far, we have AVRES and OUROBOROS. And the formations thus far, Cave, what are you thinking analysis-wise?
Both teams kind of doing a three group going towards that C cap together, and one singular player to take that home cap. It looks like we have a little bit of difference in the lineups. We have one MLU on the side of OUROBOROS being kind of the difference, because both teams have two Griffins, one SU-27 on the side of OUROBOROS, one MLU of course, and two SU-27s on the side of AVRES. So kind of similar. The FSD and MLU just being kind of the difference. So nothing really unexpected from the lanes these people are bringing.
Yeah, nothing necessarily meta-breaking or game-defining per se, but we'll see how they utilize it and if they're able to play effectively against each other. Both very experienced teams. However, I would say that we've seen a lot more of AVRES than we have of OUROBOROS across the tournaments, but that's not to count them down or out. However, Chat, on the other hand, with 69% on AVRES, with 2.3 million total Thunder points on AVRES, and 31% of the Thunder points going to OUROBOROS. So OUROBOROS could make an upset here of the economy, of the channel point economy, if they're able to get the advantage. Looking at the announcement there from Sumi, well, congratulations to our winners. Please whisper Sumi. Please whisper him there on that announcement that he just sent, so that you guys can get your esports camouflage.
Yeah, well, it looks like OUROBOROS took the advantage there a little bit early on, sending those two Griffins into cap that C4 and putting the D cap on their side, so they get those two caps on their side of the map, giving them a slight advantage. Of course, we're getting into the real scrapple here of the Griffins up close to each other, firing off missiles. And we kind of normally see at this point, the Griffins are really the forerunners of getting into those close-in combats. Doesn't look like anything has really happened yet. We're just trading missiles, everyone notching and dodging. These people have, of course, trained this very, very much. But however, Megan Fox 3 gonna go down to an R2070R actually from the Jibongo.
Okay, so first blood, and AVRES running away with it as we get the second kill here from I Saw You Run Away, taking out Supreme
Limp Bizkit.
And Limp Bizkit.
And Supreme has all gone down. It looks like, kind of looked like nobody was really doing anything there for a while, but it seems like AVRES is going to take the first round pretty easily.
Oh my goodness, this might be one of the quickest matches from first kill to last that we've seen in this entire playoff weekend. My goodness, that was absolute domination. This, if I was OUROBOROS at this very moment, I would be rethinking a lot of things. Namely, how I approached that situation to begin with, where they're just absolutely getting the... In any case, going back into the match here.
Doesn't look like they are willing to wait around in the hangar for a while. That's
No strategies that need to be taken into consideration. It all seems as though OUROBOROS knows what they need to do, and so does AVRES. There is, in my mind, Cave, from when I used to, when I used to play tournaments, sometimes thinking about it too much, right? Getting in your head, talking it through too much can be as detrimental as locking in too quickly. So I think, to a certain extent, you want to have the right amount of, conversation, the right amount of accountability, and the right amount of strategy when you're coming off of a loss, right? You don't want to get too much into your head.
Of course, and maybe that's the reason we also get really quickly back into the next round, because kind of just not really seeing maybe what went wrong, maybe just thinking you got unlucky. Honestly, it's the first round. A lot of things can change. You kind of have to start making maybe a change once you're down 1 to 2 or even 3 rounds, I would say. So you kind of have to start off to see maybe if the issue is going to repeat itself or if it was just a fluke.
No, I 100% agree. I think that, yeah, it's sometimes it can be a fluke, and we'll see if Ouroboros is able to prove that hypothesis right here, right now. Missiles coming out from legit Bongo, as well as players like Supreme on Ouroboros. But look at Limp Bizkit.
Looks like Ouroboros is going to do the same thing, actually capping that C point, getting the C point on their side. So nothing really changing from them, but I will be more interested to see if they're going to position themselves a little bit differently once they return back to their side of the map to go defensive.
Time will tell. Time will truly tell here as Limp Bizkit critically damaged his Shark. Russian Shark getting critically damaged in his Griffin. I'm kind of sad. I don't know what happened to the little like markers that indicated whether it was the Royal Thai Air Force or the South African Air Force, but it seems like that's gone today.
It's interesting what happened.
Yeah. Oh well. As we look at the duel that's about to commence here between Supreme and I think that was Runaway. Who's that there on the deck? Oh, wait a second. He's barely dodging.
Not in a really good spot here. Dieter forcing and putting pressure on Supreme from behind. Legit Bongo, of course, up high to his flank. Putting pressure on him. He needs to care about that.
I think that missile's going to come in and take out. Maybe? No, it didn't connect. Surprising.
But it looks like someone else is going to get a shot. Dieter not really be able to connect, but Supreme somehow pulling out the Supreme dodges, I guess. Somehow surviving this long.
But look at Sabiz here. He's got Dieter right on his 6, but Dieter has no missiles to counterattack with.
And he does have the energy advantage. He can just run away. Legit Bongo going to go down to Supreme.
Okay, coming out of the thick of it there. Supreme firing off some shots.
Maybe.
No damage from either player. And look at Sabiz now on the 6 of Dieter, how the turns have tabled.
Honestly, I don't see the positioning after AVRES being very good here. He needs to be really aware of these missiles ground splashing him, or one of them maybe just being an IR missile.
Oh my goodness, and he goes into the ground. Shark getting taken out by Limp Bizkit's R-Dart, or at least enough damage to force him into the ground. And now, Detra, or Dieter, fighting for his very short life here as the missile curves in, but it gets notched. Oh, and a quick snapshot from Dieter as well into Supreme. Missile coming out there.
Very slow at this point. Not a lot of energy, not a lot of rounds left, I would assume, either.
And a missile comes out, and he's able to dodge it so skillfully. Able to trick the thrust vectoring R-73, but he can't trick bullets as Supreme zooms by. Between Ouroboros and AVRES. AVRES winning the first round, but not able to clinch the second, as Ouroboros, maybe not as defiantly as AVRES, wins the second round.
Yeah, I mean, at least they're not wasting any time getting right back in it. They seem locked in on what they want to do.
Hey, our team wasted time reference comes out.
Come on, we had to.
Yeah. It's in the contract. Come on. In any case, looking at the overall formations, looking almost mirroring each other here. We have the home cap enjoyers going to be going for A and B respectively, while we have the rest of the team, one climbing high and the rest going around the C cap, or at least trying to play into the mountains and C. You know, what I recognize, or what kind of made me clench a little bit in the previous round, was seeing both, I think it was both Detra and Shark, or it might have been Sabiz. I think it was Sabiz and Limp Bizkit running it down on the flat plains, having to multipath to get to that C cap. It's high risk, high reward activities out here in the skies of Red Desert, right? I mean, look at this. There's no hard cover for them. They really have to rely on not having a missile splash on them and also relying on, just general good timing to get the C cap.
Yeah, I would assume that's what happened to Russian Shark last round there. I assumed that he was just running around across these flat planes and got flashed unluckily by a missile. But it seems like Ouroboros has kind of changed around, because if I remember correctly, Sabasas was playing a J10 yesterday. So they have that switched around from yesterday. They seem to have maybe not trusted the J10 as much. Maybe it wasn't that useful yesterday for them, so they've just gone full Griffin when it comes to their aggressive low altitude players, which kind of seems to make sense. It is what has won most teams, the matches they play, the teams for us. And nothing really unusual for them capturing that C point again to get the D4 on their side. They are more reactive in their positioning, definitely.
And Supreme getting knocked out by legit Bongos. R27ER, the R27ER, it may not be a Fox 3, but that telephone pole does in fact make your opposition, call home. Yeah, I don't know where I was going with that, but in any case, yeah, 27ER slamming into Supreme, and that's the first blood drawn by AVRES. Ouroboros down a man.
Yeah, I'm assuming these people are getting caught out by the R27ER, of course, when they are trying to notch all the Fox 3s being fired at them, and they just can't get out of the notch of the radar of the 27M at the same time. And Sabasas absolutely spamming flares, yet somehow still goes down to an 8-man M.
Kind of surprising there. A 9M kill this early on,
and I mean,
is unexpected.
Ouroboros has just collapsed again.
This is not Ouroboros' lucky side, that is for sure. It seems as though this is the cursed side for Ouroboros, as they get almost instantaneously wiped from head to toe when they lose their first player to when they lose their last player. It all seems to crumble around as AVRS wins the third round. Very surprising.
Yeah, well, I mean, nothing really to say yet. We're not going to see any differentiating positions, I don't think. We'll see if maybe this is going to be one of those games where both teams are going to trade one for ones, depending on which side they start on, or if somebody is going to finally take that decisive lead. Maybe that'll be AVRES coming out with 3 this round. Maybe it'll be Ouroboros tying it up 2-2. But I would like to see maybe some differentiating tactics coming out from Ouroboros, since they maybe seem to getting a little bit caught out. Supreme maybe the first brick, or Megan Fox being the first brick to fall there, maybe just getting surrounded a little bit too early, because if I remember correctly, both of them fell to 27 yards in their respective matches at first, so somebody is catching them out.
Alright. Right now seeing the home caps being captured, and honestly, it's not a whole lot of deviation from what we've seen previously. And yeah, I want to see a different strategy from Ouroboros, but then again, we haven't seen them fail on this side per se. It's always been on the opposite side where they've, had their difficulties, where they had their struggles. So maybe they're just more comfortable on this side. Detra having a missile launched above his head at someone who might be trying to oversee him as he runs the gauntlet, going to be trying to attack Limp Bizkit and Sabes.
Seeing a little bit more aggressiveness from Theater this round, definitely going in to try to fight these two players that take that C-cap for themselves. A little bit different from the other rounds, I would say. He's definitely being way more aggressive at the start of this, and gotta dodge that missile into the ground, of course. A little bit of a gunshot in the head-on, but nothing I would expect to be hitting at this point. But however, Megan Fox has already gone down to an R77 for runaway, so not going great for Ouroboros at the start here.
No, already one player down. That's pretty rough, but Sabes was able to hit, I think.
Damage Shark, it seems.
Yeah, hit Shark and might be able to hit Detra here, but he doesn't have any missiles left.
And oh my god, legit Bonko and Shark have gone down.
Oh, okay. Alright, so we're seeing a 3 versus 1 here. Detra versus Supreme, Limp Bizkit, and Sabes, who are all converging on his position. This is an unprecedented aggression from Team Ouroboros. It would almost make you believe that there's just one side of this map that is genuinely cursed and one side that is, well, not cursed. Or the one side is very lucky and the other side less so. Half empty, half full type situation, chat. You decide.
Darter coming out from Limp Bizkit there.
And the half empty glass goes to Detra, and he goes down into the dunes of Red Desert. I hate sand. It gets everywhere. In any case, Limp Bizkit doing a bit of a spiral, a little bit of a celebration. Ah, yes. Ah, yes. The two SU-27, the two Griffin strategy, the tried and true, really. Coming out to play, no real deviations.
If AVRES picks up the win here, I think we might have to start believing there might be a curse on one side of Red Desert.
Yeah, the Red Desert Curse. We all thought it would be on Mysterious Valley, just based off the name, but... I mean,
There's a hidden mummy somewhere on the map where they're flying over and triggering him.
Yeah. It's the holy gifted. Thank you very much for the gifted subs there to Twitch. Thank you very much for the 5 gifted. That's very generous of you. Hopefully those 5 individuals enjoy the emotes as well as the ad-free broadcast. All right, getting back into the nitty-gritty of the match here. The compositions and overall formations staying the same.
I would say that it seems like AVRS is not being actually as aggressive towards C this time. No players are really extending out to maybe that 4-5 line this early in the match that OUROBOROS is doing. Of course, they are doing the same, it seems, with their 2 Griffins going to take that C point on their side, maybe. But AVRS honestly seeing a bit more passive in their positioning this time.
Yeah, much more passive, but this is not necessarily something new from them. We've definitely seen both sides play passively, especially when it's in the winners bracket, when it was their time to potentially, well, to leave the winners bracket. Both teams know when and when not to play their most passively.
Yeah, but OUROBOROS is going to take that C cap, of course, pretty easily. Kind of uncontested this time. And I expect them to go quite defensive, of course. Maybe a little bit of missile dueling going to go on for a little while here while the teams decide on what they want to do. Maybe bleed off some missiles before they push. Might seem like the strat, to be honest.
Possibly. Missiles, yeah, coming out there from Supreme, playing the side-to-side gambit of notching. As we see Runaway reciprocating the exact same. Looks like he's low on 27 ERs. Maybe he launched a few R77s. That would be my guess, but he's only got one 27 ER, so...
He is positioning himself pretty aggressively, though, to cover Dieter here. He's going to push into the home cap of OUROBOROS, put that cap lead advantage on their side, maybe.
But then again, the geography of the map is also aiding Dieter here very well.
Yeah, and I'm assuming that they're going to do this just to position themselves kind of in a line over here on the 8 line, 7 line on the map. Gonna wait for OUROBOROS' response, maybe saying, hey, you need to push us now.
That could be the situation here. Leaving B undefended, AVRES doesn't necessarily need to defend it at all, as they only need that A cap. And the tickets are now starting to be put in their favor as well. Now OUROBOROS needs to figure something out. As you said, the ball
definitely Shark just
in OUROBOROS' court.
Shark is going to duel here with Supreme, of course. He will have the disadvantage by having a less Fox Freeze to fire in the return. Or maybe Supreme is fired in. The Limp Bizkit is going to critically damage Dieter. So
we'll see if Dieter goes down here.
He's going to go down. And Legit Bongo kind of not in a great spot, I would say. He's kind of got 3 players here around him who are going to be launching on him. Again, Fox Freeze is going to be able to pressure pretty hard. But he also needs to notch himself.
Able to notch, and as you said, though, Dieter did in fact go down to Limp Bizkit. Good call there, good analysis.
Megan Fox V is putting a lot of good pressure onto Legit Bongo, but he's got to watch out for the R77s coming back at him. And it's kind of going to be a duel between these two now.
Hold on a second, and missile coming in, and whoa, he's able to outrun it. I think he outran that missile, he just bled its energy. But sold the R73 to the rear of the engine.
However, Legit Bongo is now alone, so Megan Fox has actually done his job there to keep that player busy while his team picked off Shark and Runaway.
And now look at Limp Bizkit lining up on the 6 here of Legit Bongo. 9M coming out. And he's not... Oh, there's the formation to flare the 9M, but will he be able to...
Trying to flower, but he didn't flower properly.
Nope. It was more like...
it was kind of a half flower. It kind of just all went downwards and nothing much up.
Exactly. And he will go down. It was a wilted flower. Wilted rose, if you will.
Of course, if you want to properly flare 9M in the rear aspect, you kind of need to basically make like a circle of flare. I'm almost wondering if that was AVRES, maybe, because they were the ones that kind of changed up the strategy. They're being really passive off the start and kind of just going to steal OUROBOROS' home cap there and kind of position themselves on the side of the map, and it just didn't work out for them because I guess they got caught out a little bit after Zebra went down. Kind of losing their aggro player in the grip in there too early to actually position around him and use him kind of as that bait that people love to do. So it will be interesting if AVRES is going to change back to maybe what they were doing before and see if that runs better.
We'll see if AVRS, is able to bring it back, as now OUROBOROS has the lead and has won the last 2 rounds in a row. A bit of an unnerving situation if you're AVRS. They've broken the streak, they've broken the pattern, they've broken the mummy's curse here on Red Desert. And we'll see if they drive the knife further into their opponents, or if we see a counterplay here from AVRS. Ooh, I see someone in chat say, just got the skin. It looks nice. We're glad you enjoyed it. Yeah, the Thrustmaster camouflage for the FA-18C late, the American FA-18C. A very beautiful camouflage. That black, orange, and white combination. You can't go wrong with it.
If I remember correctly, I have the original, very like old original Spitfire Mark 1.
You have that as well? Yeah, I do too.
Yeah.
I do too.
It's interesting to see that Thrustmaster is happily still with us as a sponsor after all these years.
Yeah, no, it's a relationship we would like to continue. And thank you for your sponsorship, Thrustmaster, as well as Hercules.
Of course.
But running away from missiles here.
Yeah, I would say ZC-27 is very low, very early in the game. Kind of surprising to me, to be honest.
Yeah, a little nerve-wracking.
And it looks like Dieter is going to be very aggressive getting into this little group of furry players, the 2 Griffins and the F-18C above him, I would assume. Gonna be very risky, but of course he wants to just put bait on the enemy team. Shark as well, getting into the conflagration. Missile going out for Supreme. Not really sure that one was ever gonna hit, to be honest. But I guess it's putting pressure on Supreme to make him have to pull away so he doesn't get the shot there. Dieter gonna loop over, kind of a risky situation.
Very risky. Missiles coming in. Oh, and he goes.
And he's gonna go down to the darter.
That's a rough.
But Supreme also going down to Shark, it seems.
Okay, so they're 3-3.
No, legit Bonko actually taking
out
Supreme
the drift.
with 27 ER.
Sav is coming across our screen for a millisecond and finding his piece in the sand. Legit Bongo Shark versus Limp Bizkit and McGann Fox. Both have a missile carrier, both have a dedicated dogfighter. That run and gun, that launch and lob. Missile coming out.
Pressure on Shark here to try to get him off McGann Fox, who needs to regain some energy.
But McGann Fox is down.
McGann Fox will go down and
leaving Limp
Bizkit is now
Bizkit with no missiles.
In a 1v2 situation, not so favorable. I mean, he does have the ticket blade kind of on his side still, so he needs to play that definitely. But he will also be very pressured because, I mean, Buggo still has 2 R77s on and 3 R73s, so definitely a lot of missiles to spam back at him. And I mean, with Shark being able to know that he has a player to support him, he can just air brake and sit on Limp Bizkit's back as much as he wants.
And, you know, I think you need to take the time, since Russian Shark here is, in fact, a player that is going to be a very big threat here for Limp Bizkit. We have to mention that he is playing on a handheld device. He's playing on, I'm not exactly sure which one, but that missile coming out, 9M slams, and he takes him out with essentially a Steam Deck. I mean, Russian Shark playing on a Steam Deck, absolutely dominating, demolishing the competition here.
Maybe not the missile that Limp Bizkit was expecting to get launched at him there, but the 9M from side aspect is just so dangerous because it just does not really care.
Yeah, you really want to not, you know, you want to try and, you know, utilize that formation that we mentioned. We'll see if they're able to clutch it up, and AVRES moves on. In any case, yeah, getting back into the map.
We're just gonna go. They just They basically, I guess, teams have decided that if one of them's gonna get eliminated, they want to be done with it as quickly as possible. I don't know. I feel like some of them should be thinking a little bit maybe what they're doing, but you know, they've been trading back and forth, so maybe they just don't think that they need to change any of that.
Someone saying in chat, these matches are going by fast, and yeah, this is one of the smaller maps of the pool. I think Japan Port being one of the largest, Bourbon Island, a pretty small map as well, and Red Desert, definitely one of the smallest.
Yeah, Red Desert is definitely the smallest, and it's kind of honestly seems pretty much to be pretty close to the ground layout, to be honest, the ground RB layout. So it's very, very small when it comes to it, and of course we are in high tier aircraft, so they of course get to each other really, really fast as well. But definitely a smaller map. It does change the dynamic. I mean, people are firing at each other before they even get to their home caps, which is not the situation on, for example, Japan Port, where people are basically only firing missiles after they take the home cap, of course.
Yeah, it's true. There's less of a. Well, it seems like there's a bit more of that aggressive push, like we saw in Mysterious Valley for C cap this time around. Red Desert and Mysterious Valley have that in common, I think.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, I don't think we saw much people playing the C cap yesterday. I don't think it was that common on this map, but it seems like these two teams, or at least Ouroboros, has decided that the C cap is very vital to their victory in these matches. Which seems to be what their strategy plays around, getting C cap and somehow being able to hopefully be able to retreat to play a bit more passive around the home cap. But Dieter has basically been...
Sabis getting a clip on the Detra. I think that might have demolished one of his a portion of his tail section there. Another merge coming out. Almost being reciprocated there with a snapshot from Shark.
Going to lock up Legit Bunko, fire up Foxtree at him to get him, force him away. He's forced to notch, of course. That second one is a 9M, so he's got to be a little bit scared about that.
He is able to properly, well.
But another missile.
He eats that missile. Okay. It looks like he's going to be flying in one direction for the rest of his foreseeable future, but no way, he's pulling. We got a polar, and he takes out Sabis. Wait a second, Legit Bongo, the missile muncher.
Limp Bizkit has just been taken down as well. We have Runaway also falling. It seems to a shot from Limp Bizkit though. Legit Bongo still alive, but heavily crit. The Dieter gonna go down as well, and Legit Bongo now finally goes down.
2 Sabis is 9M. And look at that, Supreme not wanting to engage with Shark. He's just going to have...
And Shark has just run out of gun ammunition.
He ran out of ammunition, but there is a missile incoming. Going to be using the flower formation.
Yep.
And Supreme will stay alive. And now it's a 2-on-1. And Shark has no more missiles to speak of. Or ammunition in general. So he's just going to be...
Ooh, and that... got him a little bit ground splashed there by that missile from coming out Foxtree.
And look at this.
Sadly, he's kind of forced to take. He has to go to that D point, so he has basically no choice but to try to decap points to somehow play tickets. But I don't really believe that that's going to be very possible because, you know, the enemy team will simply recap the points after he decaps them.
Oh yes, and thank you to our lovely director who highlighted the fact that yes, Shark is in fact out of missiles and guns. Also, it looks like we had an anonymous gifter with a subscription, or with a gifted subscription, as well as, who was that? We had Tyrant Undead as well. Thank you for the subscription and the gifted.
Megan, R73 easily flared by Shark, but feeling a little bit bad for him here. I don't think there's much he can do. He kind of just has to force those caps. Another M120, of course, being fired there by Supreme. I think multi-pathed easily.
Yeah. Well,
but they're very cautious. I mean, of course, I don't think they know that he is out of ammo. Of course, they will not know, so they're being very, very cautious at approaching him and not wanting to get into those head-ons because that is basically his only chance of winning. But of course, he can't since he doesn't have any ammunition. But you can see how scared they are of getting in front of him.
Well, R73 coming out, and it's going to confirm the kill here. Oh, yeah, and take him out of the skies and next to the Red Desert Mummy. If Ouroboros can, in fact, clinch it up, or if we go to the 9th round. Eighth round coming out here. no changes that I can see.
No lineup changes it seems at all. We have, I would say probably the only change I would see is maybe AVRES is gonna try to be a little bit passive this time, as their kind of early aggression trying to force Ouroboros off that C cap, or at least contest them on it, has kind of not worked out for them in the last few rounds, I would say. So I would kind of wonder if they're going to be a lot more passive this round. And it does seem like they have changed up a little bit, as we see Ouroboros, of course, sending that single player down towards the B cap and 3 players towards C, like they've done pretty much every round, but AVRES has not sent anybody that way, so they're going to try something different this team.
Something different definitely in the cards this time around if AVRES wants to bring this round home. But we'll have to see what exactly that strategy will be.
And of course, somebody asked in chat, of course, why are they using the F-18C at MOU? Well, even any F-18C in general, I mean, might not have the best flight performance when it comes to acceleration and top speed, but I mean, just the amount of missiles you can carry, like you see Supreme here doing, he's already launching missiles at basically every single player on the enemy team. As soon as the match starts, at least firing off 3, I think, you know, AMRAMs, like at basically 3 players in the enemy team, just forcing them to kind of be defensive from the start. So it can be a very advantageous aircraft to use, basically just a missile slinger to put pressure on the enemy team.
Yeah, early on, early pressure, while you have your fighters or your more multi-role vehicles in regards to going in, going low, going fast, and trying to either catch one of those missile buses or one of those long-range lobbers off guard, or get into a duel with another Gripen.
Yeah, and of course, it seems like AVRES is going to try that strat they tried a few rounds ago, getting that home cap, and they're going to try to pressure and take Ouroboros' home cap away from them. But Ouroboros seems pretty aware that that's what they want to try to do. They've kind of positioned themselves pretty well for it. They got their 2 Gripen players, I would assume, down low, waiting to pressure whoever's going to try to get into that cap, but their missile slingers up high still, of course, going to put pressure on Dieter, as he doesn't seem to be able to even get close to that B cap just yet. He very much wants to, but he's also being forced into notching over and over, delaying him, of course, in stopping that ticket bleed. Looks like he will be able to actually get into that cap zone right about now. So
slowly spiraling in, but a missile coming in on him as well. He's got to be careful. He's in a very
careful here.
Very susceptible position for a missile to come out of nowhere. He's going to get that capture point, so that'll help his team reverse that ticket bleed.
Of course, Ouroboros will now decide what they want to do, see if they're going to push or not. Limp Bizkit kind of trying to actually just go straight back into the B cap, kind of flying between the enemy players of AVRES. Very, very risky. He has a lot of missiles to notch, but he manages for now.
But Shark's going to come in with guns, and he clips the wing of Limp Bizkit, and he goes down.
However, Aim on 20 has taken down Bongo, our Supreme, getting a long-range missile shot there on Bongo. So down to a 3v3 it seems.
Yeah, Sub is running it down, trying to survive these missiles.
And he gets ground splashed, I think. His rudder has been taken off there. He's also completely out of missiles, so he will be almost kind of out of the fight now, because this plane will be very slow and almost uncontrollable. He's gonna try to get some shots on Shark, and he actually is gonna hit it!
He clips him without the rudder. I can't believe what I'm witnessing right now. Saab is cleaning
and Shark
up,
is gonna go down!
Clinching it up for his team. Ouroboros in a 3 versus 2.
Supreme basically seems to be out of missiles already. Dieter close behind. Runaway gonna launch out on Supreme. Has to be very, very careful. Sabasis is technically still in the fight somehow, but he is kind of a non-factor, I would say, because he's so slow. Megan Fox Free, of course, in the background there, and Supreme just kind of being a little bit passive there.
R77 will connect with Sabasis, but he's able to dodge it. Or unless that missile was going for Megan Fox, in fact. And Sabis now slowly trying to encroach on Runaway, but Runaway can just...
Supreme gonna pull in for a shot here. Almost gonna clip Runaway, but missing in the end, and he's gonna pull right back in because he is out of missiles. He's basically only useful as a gunfighter. Dieter not even gonna care about Sabasis, kind of realizing that he might be out of the battle.
Not wanting to risk it.
And
look at these
loops here. has energy on Supreme. I think is probably going to be able to catch him here. Runaway does need to be very, very careful here because Mega Fox is chasing him. Gonna fire an R73 is what I would assume.
Oh, and he
no.
crashes as he tries to multipath
Crashes.
the missile, the blunder, the mounted team mounted coming into the play. It's a 1 versus 3 with Detra, no missiles, and no hope. Except the hope that
Supreme.
chat gives him right now. We need to see some AVRES cheering in the chat if they have any semblance of a chance, any inkling, any iota of possibility to come out of this on top.
And Supreme just trying to play for time, honestly. It seems like Megan Fox is going to slowly encroach on his flank here. Just gonna put as much time into as possible, giving Megan Fox that shot, but I think it's his last R73. And he's going to pull up and reversal. Dieter maybe.
Maybe
Gonna
Supreme
pull to the vertical.
gets the inside circle here, but he's going to bleed all of his energy. And he's bleeding all of Detra's as well. Oh my goodness.
We're playing very, very cautiously here. Supreme kind of stuck in a 1v1 while Megan Fox is just going to cap and just... I mean, rightful decision, of course, to engage in that battle, knowing, or that little dogfight there, knowing that he was not going to be able to win or pull in into Dieter. I mean, just kind of honestly, beautifully, just wasting time here.
Stalling for the ticket win indeed. Supreme able to dogfight, outmaneuver Detra and escape effectively enough to live another day. But wait a second. He's going to go right back into the dogfight. He said, hold on a second. I'm not done with you just yet. Going for a secondary reversal, but he dies in the process. And Detra's out of ammunition with the last remaining bullets Detra had. Connects with both wings of Supreme. And now it's a 1 versus 1, but what can Detra do at this point? He's got to run for the capture points, but he doesn't have anything
I
to...
don't think he's going to make it. He is on single man ticket bleed. I definitely don't think he's going to make it to that B capture point because Megan Fox is going to decap D point anyway. I would assume that probably the reason why Supreme decided to fight there was probably that fuel was getting into the equation, I would assume, for both teams here, because Megan Fox is not even afterburning at this point, so he's probably conserving as best as he can. But wow, I mean, that would be a secured win for Ouroboros.
Securing the win out from under AVRES.